Hello, video maniacs of all shapes, sizes, and colors. This is Practice Dummy. I kind of wish this article about didn't exist, but Microsoft makes that impossible. I'm going to say up front, if you haven't already tried it out, I suggest you try and get used to, a version of Linux, Ubuntu for beginners, and there are different other flavors in there. But Microsoft is now making it to where Linux is looking so good that, the switch over is just a matter of time. If you got a spare computer, go ahead and install Linux on that and give it a go. A lot of games are supported for it. As far as Office alternative, you have LibreOffice, and there are other programs that would take the place of some of your programs that you use on Windows. There are pretty decent, if not outstandingly good, alternatives on Linux. The program I use to record my videos with, OBS Broadcaster, is available on Linux, so I won't be hurting at all when it comes to creating videos. And of course, Ubuntu Linux comes packaged with Mozilla Firefox as far as the browser goes. And not to mention that Linux is a heck of a lot more secure than Microsoft Windows ever was. Okay, but let's go ahead and get to the article on hand, entitled Windows 11 Makes It Hard to Change Your Default Web Browser. Windows 11 comes with Microsoft Edge, and Microsoft really doesn't want you using Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, or anything else as your default web browser. Sure, you could still change your default browser if you want to jump through some extra hoops. And basically the article goes on, to say, unless, you get a serious outcry against this, and right now we'll still get a serious outcry concerning this, because a lot of people use Google Chrome and noticing that the default browser is, Microsoft Edge, which very few people use. The outcry will start with that. Now I'll have a link to this article below if you are trying out Windows 11 and you want to change the default browser settings. The article goes through on how to do this. And of course, when you get ready to do the switch, are you sure you want to, switch over? Please check us out. No. Now, when it's all said and done, quote unquote, it's just a beta. Some people will say that you're being too critical. After all, this is just a beta. Microsoft could fix this before the final release. But Microsoft hasn't said whether this is an issue that will be fixed. Web browsers are big business, and a change that makes it harder for people to select a different browser will encourage more people to use Edge and help increase Microsoft's profits. My take on this: if make it harder for people to want to put on the programs they want to use, they'll go to another operating system, preferably Linux. And even though Microsoft's got its own, brand of Linux, and you can install it on, I think you can install it inside of Windows and operate Linux, they'll probably have some control over, what you can and can't install on their version of Linux. Yeah, here's the one thing. After all, Microsoft doesn't respect your default web browser choice in many situations. Take a look at Windows 10's News and Interest widget, also known as the Weather widget. It uses Microsoft Edge no matter what. Now, the one thing the article's touting is Edge is actually good now, but still, making it hard or not allowing us to have a choice to install what we want on, Windows. I think this is a huge nail in the coffin for Microsoft, and the switch to Linux is going to be just a matter of when we're doing it. I've got a new laptop coming in, and I'm going to be putting Linux on that, and I am going to see how much gaming I can do with that. What I'm probably going to do is probably going to have a how-to video on some games, or just let you know what games work fine on Ubuntu Linux. Once I get the money set aside, I'm buying kind of like an older high-end laptop. Has a 770M graphics chip in it. Should be good enough for some slight retro gaming. I say slight mostly because of the fact that it'll run a lot of modern games without an issue. But I would need something like at least in the 1000 series to run the beefiest graphics games. So, okay, I think that should do it then. Wanted to bring this to you guys' attention concerning what Microsoft is doing now, and I'm guessing they're not going to change anything on there. You're just going to have to jump through some extra hoops. But how soon before Microsoft makes it to where you can't change the settings? Take care, one and all, and God bless you.